Ian, I challenge you to somehow feature all of your 80s basses in this video.
Oh my God. Challenge accepted. Sharon, I don't know about you, but I completely underestimated this bass line. I was like, oh, sure. Yeah, Rio, Duran Duran, John Taylor, awesome bass line, but kind of like no problem. And it was a problem for me. It was tough. Are you just like a breeze with this thing or no?
No. A while back, I was doing these daily Instagram videos, the basils.
Yeah.
And I did this for a basal, and I prepared myself a really hard week. And I had one easy song, I assumed, and that was Rio. And I started with that, and I was like, this ain't easy.
It's not. So listen, Sharon and I have gone through it. There's 4 parts. We're going to dive into the main riff, the chorus, the thing that happens in the bridge, and then the thing that happens in the sax solo. Yeah, there's a sax solo. It's the 80s. I feel like we should get into it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready. There's no warning.
I know.
It just starts. And you think, oh yeah, I can play this.
It's real fast.
It's so
real
fast.
Driving.
And there's all the dead notes in it, right?
Yep.
I mean, that is nasty. So John's playing like an 80s Aria Pro SB1000, which just has one pickup. I think that's what he played on this track. You heard that maybe he played a jazz bass? We're not sure. If you know, let us know. But it doesn't really matter, right? You can kind of do it on any bass. But I find taking a bass, if you have a bass with 2 pickups, taking that and just blending back a bit, so that you're getting that kind of nasty sound, because it's all about the speed and the tightness of all those ghost notes. Getting that together is tricky. And then we're going to A, C, C sharp. I always use just my pinky to roll. So instead of playing the A this way and playing fingers 1, 3, 4, I just bar my pinky across. So check it out. When you're trying to play this with ghost notes, the best thing you can do is keep your hand so close to the bass, because if you're lifting your hand away from the bass,
you're going to get harmonics.
It's going to be an absolute mess of harmonics and ringing strings. So you really, even on this main riff, you've got to keep your hand close. Right? So all fingers are down on the strings to get that thing to not ring like harmonics.
I do something slightly differently on the first note, where he occasionally has a dead note, which is so weird because it's an open string. So I'm actually slapping a little bit with my right hand, and I get
Oh, that's cool. That's your first ghost note. Ah, that's
I do
cool.
it multiple times throughout.
Well, there you go. Got a couple ways to do it. But I'm probably playing it just straight up ghost notes. I don't think I'm ever smacking it like that. The best thing you can do is just to try to play this slow and make sure you're not getting any ringing.
Wow.
And listen, if you out there are confused by this, don't worry. Of course, we have the tab and notation for you below in a link. You can grab it. It's free. All of that stuff will be in there. All of these parts we're teaching you. Sharon, what bass are you playing today?
I thought you'd never ask. It's a Fender Jazz Plus.
Yes, from the 90s.
From the 90s with... What is that?
Kubicki Electronics.
Kubicki Electronics. And this guy.
The crazy thing about those, Sharon?
Check the strap locks?
Yes! So here's a Kubicki, right? Same electronics package in this, different pickups, but the strap buttons they must have used as string retainers on that bass. That's insane.
It's amazing. It's so funny.
Hey, in this video, if you want to see me play some sick 80s basses like this one, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do it.
Chorus?
Chorus.
I will take you to the chorus, but I will take you to the chorus first by playing you their live recording from...
Oh, yes.
some time ago. 82! Way pre-Sharon. I love that ringing E.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then slap
Yes!
out of nowhere.
Look at this cool guy. The hair, the jacket, the wrist guard.
It's so good. All right, let's break this bass line down. So he starts it off with a really cool slide into the E. Which is just...
yes.
Disclaimer, I hate open strings. For some reason, I don't know where this trauma began, but it began somewhere and it stuck with me, and no matter how much I try to get rid of it, I don't like open strings. So for you at home, the tabs will show open strings on the D. I'm going to be playing it here because I am wired weirdly.
I think it's fine.
All right, I'm going to take it slow from the slide. There's a slight ghost note there. Bum, bum, ka-dum, gum, gum, gum. And that's so not intuitive. Again, going back to the D instead of the C sharp. It feels like it should be dick, 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 but that's not the song. But naturally, I feel like every muscle memory part of my hand wants to go to the C sharp.
Yeah.
So, not C sharp, D.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then that C.
Yeah, yes, the C feels so crazy.
The D is super not intuitive, and then the C is not intuitive. Ba, 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 da. And then the most iconic part of the chorus, the slap.
Yes.
It's so... It takes all the attention just to the bass for just a split second, and then goes back to the song. Ian, how do you go back to the top of the chorus after the slap?
I wanted to know how you did it. I mean, right, so... Right? Like...
That's such an awkward shift, right?
It really is, actually, yes.
I'm basically plucking the E again. I'm doing the move of the pluck, but I'm like...
Oh, but you're not actually getting the sound again.
I'm just going super soft.
Yep. That's great.
And that allows me to kind of keep the same position. The E is ringing, so I have a little bit of time to get back into like regular finger position.
Yeah.
And then we're back to...
Yes.
And the second time he just leaves it on finger.
It's awesome. And I love you put the ghost notes in the second time too, like...
Yeah.
Because he plays them here, right? That?
It's full of them.
It's full of them.
I know. If you thought the verse was it just keeps going.
And remember, you got all that tab and notation below if you want to check it out at your own pace. It's nastier than it sounds. So we're going to take it to the bridge.
Take it to the bridge!
Okay, so check out this thing he plays in the bridge. It's so cool. And he's using your, like, smack thing. We're going to check it out. Yes. Here it is. Like, with the snare. Whack!
Yes.
I love that. So check it out. He's playing... And I have long said, like, the hand smack thing is a really fun way and a great way to start to feel backbeat, but that you shouldn't do it. I have always said this, like, oh, don't do it when you're playing in a rhythm section with a band, like maybe then don't do it because it gets in the way of the snare. But if you've got time and tone and vibe and hair and fashion sense, like Mr. John Taylor, you get to do it all you want. I mean, right?
Do you want to see us break down more iconic bass lines or maybe greatest bass lines ever? Like and subscribe. So then you might think after the bridge it goes just straight back to, verse or chorus like any other song. But no,
Yeah.
no, we're in the 80s. There has to be a solo. And what's better than a guitar solo, Ian?
A sax solo on a raft in the middle of the ocean.
It's like not quite the verse riff, it's like the motive.
Yes, similar rhythms.
It's so cool. And at the very end, he does like a classic rock move of like... And then goes back to the verse section. But before I get ahead of myself in this instance, what are we doing here in that like solo section?
Yeah, what are we doing?
It's not quite the verse, but to me, this is probably the hardest section in the song because it jumps around a lot. It's still jumpy. It's still got the like intricacies.
Jerry's like this. Totally got intricacies, Mom.
It's still got the drive. It's still got those like ghost notes, but it's just a little bit more jumpy. So we're going from the C sharp and down to the F sharp.
Yeah.
Same exact, like literally like same exact shape down to the F sharp. And then it changes. Then we're going to go to the A, like a triad situation.
Yep.
And then this is the weirdest one. In isolation, it doesn't even sound like a fun or nice bass line. Like, but it works so well in the situation. And then he goes back to the C sharp, but he syncopates it.
Cool.
And that's it. That's the whole solo section.
Sharon, that was cool. Shaz, we did it. We're done.
Hey, I promised the good people of the YouTubes 80s basses. You gotta deliver, man. I challenge you to play Rio on all 5 of them.
Oh my God.
At the same time. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I got 80s basses. And, you know, to do this, just break it down and play it slow. Oh, bless you. Amazing.
No, don't sneeze. Don't sneeze.
I love it. The sneeze stays. The sneeze stays in.
No. It's a raccoon bass. Why do I say that? Because it's made from Kubiki trash.